A new training session focuses on adapting Mendez's principles for effective interviewing in law enforcement and investigative procedures in Mongolia has been organized to improve criminal justice practices.
The training was hosted by the Standing Committee on Justice of the Parliament of Mongolia and the National Preventive Mechanism of Mongolia, which aims to bolster the capabilities of Mongolian law enforcement officers. The event, in collaboration with the International Association for the Prevention of Torture, emphasizes the localization of the Mendez principles to enhance interviewing techniques and information gathering during investigations. Key figures attending the training include Tsochtbatar, Member of Parliament and Chairman of the Standing Committee on Justice, Zilmung, Member for the Prevention of Torture, and Ben Buckland, Senior Advisor at the Association for the Prevention of Torture.
The more respect is expressed towards Mongolia, the more cautious Mongolian government should become with regard to this issue. Because when you are lenient and when you think you're good, that's when the problem may, occur without your knowledge and because of your lenience and less attention to the issue. So therefore, again, that is a very good reason when people say that Mongolian human rights records are high. That is a very good reason why Mongolia should be even more careful about human rights. Now, when it comes to torture, the problem is this: very often, the concept of torture in the convention is pretty wide. Therefore, but in Mongolian translation, for example, it's translated in a narrow sense. Then, when the practitioners use the convention, they use it in Mongolian in that narrow sense, without understanding that there are more, acts that may constitute violation of the convention. And they, without realizing it, may be engaging into this illegal, prohibited activities. Therefore, one of the ideas that I was saying today at the seminar is that more academic research needs to be done. More precision should be applied in, using these international terms in Mongolia. You cannot have this easy approach to international norms. And therefore, starting from simple translation of the provisions, there has to be a lot more work done in terms of further research and academic study of the issue. And that will later on translate into practice. Then the record of Mongolia will be higher. And understanding the fact that we're not perfect and being humble enough that even without our knowledge, we may be, crossing the international, lines, the international norms. That will be, helping Mongolia to be better compliant with international standards. And there is more. Actually, what I'm saying is that our national standards should be higher than international standards.
So the Mendez principles are really a framework for enhancing the implementation of fundamental safeguards, including access to a lawyer, contact with the family, appropriate documentation of custody, for example, in Mongolia, as well as the replacement of confession-based interrogations with a rapport-based interviewing. And what's really key about this is that it helps to protect the human rights and the dignity of people who are detained, while also allowing the police to be more effective and more professional. So I think what is great in Mongolia is that you've already made some very important steps forward, including by establishing one of the first effective national preventive mechanisms in the region. And Principle 6 of the Mendez Principles is about oversight. So you've already made a big step here. And this afternoon we'll be talking more with the detaining authorities here about other small gaps and how we can help to fill them. But you've already made some good steps forward.
For the past 2 years, the National Action Mechanism for the Prevention of Torture has been actively working and organizing preventive measures. This system is currently being established in Mongolia. Although efforts to combat torture have been ongoing, this is the first time a dedicated mechanism has been put in place. This development represents a genuine commitment to fulfilling our international obligations and is a crucial component of the broader human rights framework. We present our annual torture prevention report to the Standing Committee on Justice, which also serves to inform the public about the annual situation regarding torture prevention in Mongolia.
The session is attended both online and in person by prosecutors, detectives, investigators, and human rights trainers from the capital and all 21 provinces. The Mendez Principles focus on strengthening human rights protections by preventing torture and inhumane treatment within law enforcement and investigative practices. The training is part of ongoing efforts to integrate these principles into Mongolia's legal framework.